Okay, so on this episode of W. Hollis Boxing, we are going to do our talk and scroll format, which is another platform that I have. But anyway, this is W. Hollis Boxing. We are going to be looking at the comment section of this particular thread, and it got a lot of engagement, so I figured I would turn my comments into content. So this is in regards to Tim Tszyu's reaction to Jermell Charlo bypassing him and taking the opportunity to move up two weight divisions to face Canelo Alvarez. So, first thing I want to say is I understand Tim Tszyu being disappointed. I understand that, and I understand he was looking forward to the opportunity to face Jermell Charlo. However, my understanding is that he is the interim champion, and maybe he'll be elevated to full titleist if he doesn't end up facing Jermell Charlo. But we're going to come back to that. So here was my initial comment that kicked it off. I said, I understand Tim Tszyu's frustration, but the best thing he can do is to keep winning impressively against the best available competition. So that's my thought. I mean, ultimately, it's not uncommon for fighters to choose more lucrative opportunities. They all have a limited time to make as much as they can. So I don't blame them for that. So, in regards to the best available competition, this person said, can't do that when the champion runs away two weight classes. First things first, I want to point out that everyone is also saying that Jermell Charlo is going to get destroyed by Canelo. So is it really running away if you're running towards a greater threat? I think most people can agree that Canelo is a greater threat than Tim Tszyu. So that's a bit of a contradiction to me. So I said best available. I guess I can summarize mine. This person said, of course it is, as far as it being running away. They said zero risk, doesn't put his belts on the line. If he loses, he says, well, I went up two weight classes and he gets a payday instead of getting knocked out by Tim, losing all his belts for less money. Well, it is prize fighting. And I would say, too, that any fighter within two weight divisions of Canelo would probably do the same thing that Jermell Charlo did. I believe that Tim Tszyu would. Everyone is talking about Tim Tszyu being such a monster. Well, if he's the monster that people say he is, and if Canelo is past his best, like some people say he is, then I believe that he would take the opportunity. So I said it sounds like running away or a smart decision depending on whether you like the fighter or not. And that's exactly my point. So I believe that if Tszyu decided to face Canelo, they would be celebrating him for daring to be great. That is my thought. I don't know for sure. I don't have any insider information. That's just my thought. All of us are speculating. Fair enough. So he said, it is smart, no doubt. He knows he's done, so he's getting a final big payday. Still doesn't change the fact that he is running from Tim. So again, the Canelo opportunity is a small window. How this even came about, and this is my understanding, I don't have any intimate knowledge behind the scenes, but my understanding once again is that Jermall Charlo was supposed to get the opportunity. He decided to bypass it, and Jermell Charlo decided to accept the opportunity. So I imagine it was pretty easy to make the fight. I'm assuming he said, you know what, whatever terms you were going to give my brother, I'll accept. So that's a lot easier. And for PBC, it's a three-fight deal with Canelo. So that was obviously fight number one. Yes, I would like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. I believe that will happen. And I'll tell you why. I want to mention this too. When Canelo was affiliated with The Zone, they really wanted the Triple G trilogy, even though a lot of people felt as though it was past its sell-by date. The Zone, they really wanted that third Triple G fight, and they got it. So I believe that if PBC really wants Canelo Benavidez, I believe that they offered that three-fight deal with the expectation that the Benavidez fight will either be fight number two or fight number three. That's just my speculation, but all of us are speculating. That's why we're here on this thread. So, as far as belts being on the line, someone was saying, well, he gets to keep all of his belts. I wouldn't say it's not a risk, though. Anytime you move up to fight someone two weight divisions higher than you, it is a risk. If you're going to say that Jermell Charlo stands no chance, then you also have to admit, or you should admit, that it's a risk. It's a risk you could get seriously hurt, which people are assuming that Jermell Charlo will be overmatched. To answer the question, let's see what someone else had to say. Okay, here it is. So the WBO were the ones who said it was mandatory. Here's the funny thing about mandatories. I want to point this out, and especially referencing someone like Triple G. When Triple G was fighting his mandatories and racking up defenses, everyone said he was fighting bums. But now, all of a sudden, when it comes to Jermell Charlo, it's seen as a crime against humanity for him bypassing his mandatory to take a more lucrative opportunity. And I would say if anyone has an issue with fighters not fighting their mandatories, that's more of a boxing problem than a Jermell Charlo problem. We all know that it's all about money, so it's a lucrative opportunity. Sanctioning bodies probably just want to collect those fees. I imagine that's what it's all about. So I would say your gripe is with the sanctioning bodies and with boxing as a whole, more so than Jermell Charlo. Someone challenged me. They said, well, the WBO and the basically saying that I know better than the WBO. I actually don't. I'm a boxing fan, as I said. I never claimed to. And this is where I also outline what I said about my thoughts about Canelo Benavidez. Let's see, what else? What else? Basically, okay, so people, have a lot of I don't want to say animosity, but Charlo's getting a lot of ridicule. So, what I would say though is the opportunity presented itself. Every fighter deserves to make as much as they can for as long as they can. This person says, well, he's been waiting for well over 12 months. He had two fights just to keep busy. And again, I do my best to be objective. So I would have no problem whatsoever with Tim Tszyu being elevated to full titleist for the WBO. That would be completely fine with me. I guess everybody, well, not everybody, but certain people really, really want to see Tim Tszyu get his shot. I want to see if there are any more comments I need to reply to. That's pretty much it. Ultimately, I believe that Tim Tszyu would do the same thing. A lot of people have mentioned, honor and whatnot and the legacy. There's nothing to say that Jermell Charlo can't come back and fight Tim Tszyu. And ultimately, Tim Tszyu is going to get a big fight. He'll get a big fight, whether it's against Jermell Charlo or whether it's against somebody else. So that's my thought. I just wanted to respond to this. I'm sure I'll make another video. And thank everybody for commenting on this thread. Whether you agree or disagree, I appreciate it. And make sure you follow this channel. I'm looking for subscribers. I'm aiming to get to 500 subscribers. As of this video, I'm at 242. So whether you agree or disagree, or if you want to question me or tell me I don't know anything about boxing, I edited that. People like to say you don't know SHIT about boxing. If you feel that way, tell me about that in the comments. I'd be more than open and more than happy to hear your different perspective. This has been another episode of W. Hollis Boxing. Y'all take it easy.